Good morning. This is Chris Robinson, Robinson Ag Marketing with today's pre-opening grain and livestock comments for Tuesday, the 7th day of April. We are waiting for the deadline. Crude oil is trading 116.56 overnight, 115.40, up $3 as I talk. New developments with what's going on in Iran. I'm not going to go through the headlines. I'm sure you're tired of hearing them just as much as I am, but uh, things seem to be escalating a bit. We will see what happens at the deadline tonight. In the grain markets, kind of a quiet night. A nickel range in corn, um, 7 cent range in beans. My goodness, a 4 or 5 cent range only in wheat. I think the market's kind of waiting with the rest of us. We'll see how this all works out. The stock market, I think as long as we don't take out 45,000 in the Dow, that's going to be a big support level. That was our low of the move so far. Same thing for the S&P 500. We've established that low last week that was under 6,400. I think the low was 63.53. So 63.50. Both of those indexes had basically 10% corrections. And those are 10% corrections coming after the last year where we had tremendous rallies. People forget that. A year ago, April, we were 30% lower in the S&P, about 30% lower in the Dow. So if we correct, at least we're correcting from all-time highs, I guess, if you want to be a glass half full person. But yeah, there's definitely going to be risk and then repricing after this market is done here today. No two ways about it. So get your risk on paper. If you look at what's available, right, 482 D's corn. We started the year worried about corn going under 440. We did get a spike up to 98, 98 and a half. That was a great gift. Uh, I would say this: whatever your biggest risk is, unpriced or priced, get your risk on paper. Same thing with new crop beans. New crop beans are at 1160. We were down at sub 1050 in January, and we were worried. A lot of people were concerned that if we lost China business, if we had a huge crop, et cetera, we'd be under $10 beans. So to be sitting here, this is a gift. Even with the wheat had a tremendous rally. The wheat is still well off its 5-year lows. July wheat traded down to 525. It's trading at 605 this morning. Now, granted, it's not 650 where we were at, but this is all relative, relative, relative. So defend what we've been given. Um, Nobody knows how this is going to turn out. If you do, you're one in a million person that can tell me how this is going to turn out. And we still have weather risk, right? I don't know if this is going to be 2012 or not. Neither do you. So I would say this: keep your risk on paper. Try to stay focused on what we know. And what we know is where prices are. And prices are relatively good right now. They're not what we need, but they're relatively good. Cotton. There's some guys out there that I work with that are cotton producers. Cotton has had a tremendous 9 cent rally off its lows. Granted, it's not enough. I put that in my letter this week. It's not enough, but it's a heck of a lot better to be 9 cents higher than sub 60 cotton. So that's my take on things this morning. We will see what happens in the protein complex. Funds continue to remain long. We made new highs, but then backed off a little bit. Protein complex, I don't see that changing. The market's well bid. The managed money is long and continues to be bet long. We have had more of a correction in lean hogs than we did in the cattle. I will say one thing I'm impressed with is the cattle seems to have disconnected from whatever um, um, fear there is in the stock market for now. For a long, long time, they looked like mirrors of each other. Um, we continue to see strength in cattle, and we are back up near all-time highs. So remember back in November when we collapsed, right? We had a huge sell-off. We've clawed all of that back. So if you were angry back in November, this is your mulligan. These are all-time highs in cattle. Please take advantage of them. We've seen before how this market can shift. You don't want to be sitting there holding the bag if feeder cattle drop $80 again and fat cattle drop $40 again. All right, this is Chris Robinson, Robinson Ag Marketing. If you're not getting my letter, take a look at it. I spend 2 hours every day after the close. I go through all the charts. I give you key levels. I try and keep it as neutral as possible. I try and explain that nobody knows where these prices are going. We want to use these markets. We want to use risk transfer to transfer risk to people who want it. The last thing I'll say is this: we have a USDA on Thursday. Nobody's expecting anything, but it doesn't mean that we can't get some fastball thrown at our face. This is Chris. Have a good day.